A plane crash in South Korea kills hundreds. We'll update you on what officials have been able to find out so far.
Record high temperatures in the forecast tomorrow, but a big cool down to kick off 2025. We'll talk about it on First Warning Weather.
And the suspect in a New York subway arson case waives his court appearance. Listen to the charges he's facing after a woman burned to death. But first, breaking news. Jimmy Carter, the 39th president of the United States, has died at the age of 100. Carter's death came after an announcement in February 2023 that he had entered hospice care and would spend his remaining time at home with family. After a series of short hospital stays, Mark Barger takes us back through President Carter's global impact over his decades of service.
I, Jimmy Carter, do solemnly swear.
Jimmy Carter personified the American dream, rising from farm life in the rural South to become the 39th president of the United States. He was born and raised in the small hamlet of Plains, Georgia. After serving in the U.S. Navy, he returned home to Plains and made a success of the family's peanut farm. He also met Rosalind Smith, the woman who became not only his wife, but his closest advisor. Carter began his political career as a Georgia state senator before winning the governorship.
The time for racial discrimination is over.
He ordered a portrait of Martin Luther King Jr. displayed in the Georgia Capitol.
My name is Jimmy Carter, and I'm running for president.
Carter's 1974 campaign for the White House began as the longest of long shots. In the wake of Watergate and Vietnam, his appeal as a straight-shooting Washington outsider grew, and he narrowly defeated Gerald Ford in 1976. The Carter presidency was highlighted by the Camp David Agreement, bringing a once unthinkable peace between Egypt and Israel. But economic recession and high interest rates crippled Carter's term in office, and the Iranian hostage crisis devastated it. Americans grew frustrated with Carter's handling of the situation, including an aborted rescue attempt that eroded confidence in his leadership. Republicans capitalized in 1980 as Ronald Reagan's sunny optimism ended Carter's re-election bid with a resounding victory. But from that defeat, a remarkable second act. Private citizen Carter began a new career, helping build homes for the poor in America, making Habitat for Humanity an international name, even while focusing on global humanitarian causes. In 2002, Jimmy Carter won the coveted Nobel Peace Prize. But in 2015, at the age of 90, he announced he was diagnosed with melanoma, which had spread to his brain.
But I was surprisingly at ease. You know, I've had a wonderful life. I've had thousands of friends.
Carter underwent cancer treatment and recovered, remaining active well into his 90s, teaching Sunday school at his South Georgia church. Even after suffering a series of falls, Carter's resilience allowed him to continue building homes for Habitat.
I'd say peace and human rights and treating everybody the same has been what I hope will be my legacy.
By the end of his life, Jimmy Carter had won the deep respect and admiration of not only Americans, but people around the world. Mark Barger, NBC News.
Incredible legacy. And President Carter's legacy continues right here in Travis County. The Rosalind Jimmy Carter Work Project is set to help with construction on the Whisper Valley development in the eastern part of the county next year. According to Habitat for Humanity, Whisper Valley is meant to be the first geothermal neighborhood in the country, meaning that homes will feature geothermal heat pumps and solar panels and be designed to generate more energy than they consume. Habitat is launching the work project in October of next year.
First Warning Weather with meteorologist Tommy House.
Hey, it was a great day today. Temperatures were in the 70s, but we were sunny. We have a high pressure right overhead that has been providing us with this clear shot. This is our downtown Austin Austonian weather camera as the sun begins to set in the next few minutes. The reflection golden hour on the buildings there. What a tremendous shot at 5:04 on this Sunday evening. All right, 77, that was the high today. It's about 15 degrees above where we should be this time of year and 5 degrees away from our record, which is 82 degrees. All right. Pollen count, Cedar and Mold are low. They're both trending down at this hour. Clear skies will continue to be the name of the game overnight. Right now, still in the 80s out toward Mason and Llano and Marble Falls, Saba County, 75 in Burnett, some upper 60s up toward Milam County there, and Lee and down toward LaGrange in the mid-70s, 74 at Camp Mabry. So overnight tonight, temperatures will drop a little bit. We'll stay on the mild side, back down to, let's say, 50 degrees at kickoff here Monday. We're talking about the record heat returning tomorrow. 80s are in the forecast, but a New Year's Eve cool down expected and maybe some rain next weekend. We'll talk about that in just a bit. All right, we told you yesterday about some of the tornadoes that touched down near the Houston area, and now we're seeing some of the damage that they left behind. Those tornadoes touched down in Katy, Cypress, Porter Heights, and Splendora, according to the National Weather Service, while south of Houston, multiple homes were destroyed when a tornado touched down between Alvin and Liverpool. According to a spokesperson from the Brazoria County Sheriff's Office, one person died in the Liverpool area and 4 people suffered injuries that weren't considered critical at this time. Officials are aware of around 10 damaged homes, but they're still working on determining the extent of the damage.
All right, thank you very much, Tommy. A portion of Lakeshore Boulevard in East Austin was closed earlier today because of a suspected sinkhole. This is over by Riverside Drive. Austin's Watershed Protection Department says a contractor with a private developer left a storm drain disconnected. When the rain earlier this weekend happened, it couldn't properly flow through the drain and as a result washed part of the road out. For now, it's been covered with a temporary fix and crews are set to begin permanent repairs tomorrow. 179 people died when a plane crashed while landing at South Korea's Muon International Airport. There are 2 survivors and 2 others remain unaccounted for. NBC's Megan Fitzgerald has more from London.
Good to be with you. Look, we're talking about an aircraft that was carrying 181 people before it crashed after its landing gear apparently failed. We do want to warn you that the footage you're about to see is graphic. You can see the moment that this plane started skidding down the runway before colliding into a wall and exploding into a massive fireball. South Korean officials say only 2 people were pulled alive from the wreckage. Everyone else on board has died. Flight radar tracking the plane's journey from Bangkok, Thailand to South Korea didn't appear to show anything unusual, but officials say a bird strike may have started the deadly chain of events, causing the pilot to issue a mayday warning. Investigators are searching for answers while rescuers are recovering the bodies of those who didn't make it. Officials are saying it could take between 6 months to 3 years to complete a full investigation. Back to you.
And this comes less than a week after an Azerbaijan passenger jet crashed and it killed 38 people on board. That plane was headed to the Chechen capital of Grozny, but instead crashed in a field in Kazakhstan. Azerbaijan Airlines said the jet crashed after experiencing physical and technical external interference. However, in an official statement Saturday, the Kremlin said air defense systems were firing near Grozny due to a Ukrainian drone strike as the plane attempted to land on Wednesday. It stopped short of saying that the plane was shot down by Russian defenses. The last remaining hospital in North Gaza has been raided and cleared of staff and patients by the Israeli army. This comes after at least 50 people were killed, including 5 medical staff in an Israeli airstrike on a building near the hospital. NBC's Raf Sanchez is in Tel Aviv with the latest.
Hey there, hospital authorities in Gaza say that Israeli forces stormed inside the Kamal Adwan hospital in the north of the Strip. It's one of the only functioning hospitals in the area. They say Israeli forces moved in and that they forcibly evacuated the patients inside. Now, this is not a straightforward situation at all where you have patients potentially on respirators, ventilators. You can have newborns inside incubators. So the medics here are saying that they are deeply concerned for the health of some of these severely ill patients. They say that male doctors and nurses were stripped and searched by Israeli forces, and that the hospital ultimately was set on fire by Israeli troops. Now, Israel is saying the hospital was a, quote, Hamas stronghold. They say that Hamas operatives were operating out of that hospital. They haven't provided detailed evidence of that at this point. Israeli forces last operated around the hospital back in October, but there have been relentless strikes all around in recent days. Dozens of people killed in just the last week or so. And we are hearing concern from humanitarian organizations about the total collapse of the healthcare system inside Gaza, especially up in the north of the Strip. I'll send it back to you.
The man suspected of setting a woman on fire in the New York Metro has waived his appearance in court. News Nation's Laura Ingle has the charges he's facing and what comes next.
Sebastian Cepeda was not in court, waiving his appearance on Friday, and was charged with 4 counts of murder and 1 count of arson. To break that down further, 3 charges of second-degree murder, 1 charge of first-degree arson, and 1 charge of first-degree murder, which could bring him a sentence of life in prison without parole if convicted. The Brooklyn District Attorney calling the Sunday morning murder of a sleeping woman on a subway who was burned alive an evil deed. District Attorney Eric Gonzalez says his team of investigators are confident they have enough evidence to support the state charges, calling this an intentional act.
If we watch the video, and I'm sure many of you have seen the video, it's clear that it appears a lighter was used to set her on fire, and that's our working theory on the case right now.
The DA said investigators are continuing to work on identifying the victim, but because she was so badly burned and appeared to be homeless, this has become more challenging. Investigators are working on advanced fingerprinting and advanced DNA to help identify her and say they have made progress but cannot go into specifics. Police are also going through multiple camera systems, both at the subway station and on the subway, to see if they can spot this woman getting into the car. That will hopefully help identify her. Cepeda will be back in court on January 7th for his arraignment. Back to you.
First warning weather with meteorologist Tommy House.
A sunny and warm day today as a high pressure just dominates the Lone Star State. No clouds or rain at all throughout the day today in Central Texas. 74 right now in Austin, mostly sunny skies. Winds out of the south-southeast at 6 miles per hour. Humidity at 29%. Here's your evening planner. 65 by 7 p.m., 61 by 9, and 58 degrees by 11. Clear skies overnight tonight, heading off into your Monday. Out the door tomorrow morning. Low 50s, upper 40s, east of I-35. Most of us in the low 50s from Milam and Lee down toward Fayette County. 48 degrees in Llano County, 50 in San Saba, Mason, and Gillespie County. But by the afternoon hours, winds out of the southwest, they'll keep us on the warm side, breaking records even. 83 is the current record set back in 1951. I'm going with 84 degrees tomorrow in Austin. How about 87 in Marble Falls and Llano County? Can you believe it, this late in December? And we're dealing with mid to upper 80s in our area, east of I-35 toward Giddings and up toward Cameron, maybe just the upper 70s. But it's not just in Texas itself. Big picture across the country. Look at that. The red is warmer than normal. So we're going to stay on the warm side tomorrow and even Tuesday. But some cooler air will move in on a dry cold front. So by Wednesday, to kick off 2025, we could be dealing with temperatures in the upper 50s to low 60s. Here's how it looks across the next 7 in Austin itself. 84, that's for tomorrow. And then a big temp drop through the afternoon hours into the evening. 59, look at that on Wednesday. It's going to be great. Overnight lows returning to the upper 30s. Let's talk about the celebrations New Year's Eve into Wednesday itself. So you're going to be out and about, maybe downtown, celebrating the kickoff to the new year. It's going to be clear, cooler, calm winds. I'm going with the mid-40s right now for midnight for those celebrations. No need for that umbrella or rain jacket. How about January 1st? This is Wednesday afternoon, 59 for a high, partly cloudy skies. We'll see clouds continue to build in, but it's not going to rain most likely up until maybe even next weekend. Very low chance of rain here, just 10%. This is the GFS model. We're going to kick off by this is next Friday here, so 5 days out. A few showers down toward the valley. They may try to kick up a little bit toward Houston, closer to the coast. It's possible. Again, it's so far out. This isn't an exact in frame what's going to happen. But notice a pretty strong storm system erupts to the east of Texas. So we'll fine-tune these details and totals. That same model. A few hundredths of an inch here. So take this with a grain of salt. I think closer to the coast as of now could be getting more rain, but this will change in the coming few days. One of the big model runs that we've been tracking is the cooler weather moving in 8 to 14 days out from now. I've seen it all across social media. People are talking about the cold air coming in the second week of January. We'll continue to watch this. Look at the 7-day forecast here. We're not going to see any crazy cold temperatures, but beyond the next 7, Some of the models are saying, hey, our highs could be in the low 50s maybe. Finally could get our first freeze in Austin. Our average first freeze is actually December 1st, so we're about 3-4 weeks behind that. Anyway, here's the next 7. 80s tomorrow. It's going to be hot, and then 65 on Tuesday, 59 on Wednesday, and then upper 60s and maybe some showers next weekend.
This is KXAN Sports, brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
Good evening, all. Happy Sunday. Well, if there's one thing they don't like, it's the Philadelphia Eagles, probably Washington as well, but they're playing Philadelphia today, so the opportunity to play Grinch for Dallas is awful exciting. Cooper Rush, Kevontae Turpin, and the Cowboys already eliminated, but Philly still a lot to play for. First drive for the Cowboys. How does it go? Cooper Rush, you find the guy in Kelly Green. That's not exactly what you're trying to do. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, the only guy that's going to catch him is his teammate, Cooper DeJean, and Eagles go up 7-0 early. But here come those feisty Dallas Cowboys. Cooper Rush to Jalen Tolbert. Hey, they're even at 7. Cowboys fans might want to mute the TV after this because there was well, actually, you know, keep watching, but it was ugly after that. Kenny Pickett to Devontae Smith for the touchdown. Then in the second half, Philly was running away with it. Kenny Pickett, already in for an injured Jalen Hurts, was knocked out after Micah Parsons hit him there. That play was called back, not a touchdown. So Pickett had to leave the game, but it was fine for them. They were dominant in this one. I don't know if this is a highlight or low light, but wanted to show it. 61-yarder from Brandon Aubrey when this game's out of reach. Probably would have been good from 70 if it was a couple more yards inside, but nevertheless, Cowboys fall big in this one, 41-7. Let's talk some Texas football. They're arriving in Atlanta today. This video of them arriving ahead of the Peach Bowl on New Year's Day. So much buildup of this showdown as Texas tries to make into the semifinal here in the first year of the 12-team playoff. More eyeballs than ever on this Texas team. People love talking about the Longhorns and their quarterback, Quinn Ewers, one of the most scrutinized guys in the sport. Asked earlier on what Ewers does to stay focused during this playoff run.
I think my teammates, because that's what they deserve. You know, we're all in the same situations. We all have stuff going on outside of football. But, you know, we all decide to come here and come to the facility and practice each and every day, be away from our families, be away from our loved ones. And, you know, we all have the ultimate goal of trying to win a national championship. And that's what everybody deserves. Everybody deserves my best. And I think that if you ask anybody in that room, or anybody in the locker room, that they'll say the exact same thing.
All right, welcome back in. Talking hoops, the SEC slate for both the Texas men and women is just insane. So today, before that, both teams finishing up non-conference play. It was a doubleheader at Moody Center. We'll start with the Texas men. They were up first. They got cutouts of walk-ons. There's some diehards or family members either way. First half, Texas up 6. How about Trey Johnson? Just throw it up. Kendall Weaver will come down with it. Johnson had 18 points and clearly some assists. Right before the half, how about a little behind-the-back action from Julian Larry? Guy loves dishing the ball to Zarek Onyema and Texas all over Northwestern State. Second half, Texas with the steal. They love saying defense into offense. Up ahead, there's Kendall Weaver again, the big slam. Caden Shedrick was ready to dunk that one anyway, but Weaver able to throw it in for the dunk. Texas rolls. Next game to Bill at Texas A&M, January 4th. To the women we go. Also their last non-conference game. Madison Booker and company hosting UTRGV. Fast break. How about some team basketball? Rory Harmon, Madison Booker inside to Taylor Jones. And Texas was just running away with this one right away. Then they're up 19-3. Madison Booker just tallying up the stats. Block, lay in, some points for her and the standout sophomore continuing to ball out. How about Kyla Oldacre here in the second quarter? Game high 21 points for the transfer. She's been outstanding in Burnt Orange this year. Then second half, Taylor Jones not one but 2 blocks. And Texas had everything rolling today. They win 94-35.